Good evening and welcome to Swag Her Magazine, The In Between. I am your host, Lachey Young. Thank you for joining me again tonight. We've been having some real conversations these past few weeks. We talked about who you are when nobody needs you. We talked about protecting the version of you. But tonight we're going to go deeper because at some point you have to ask yourself, where did this version of me even come from? And I want you to sit with that question. The one who overgives, the one who feels responsible for everybody and everything, the one who struggles to say no. We've been talking about that word. No is a complete sentence. Even when you're exhausted, that didn't just happen, that was learned. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that being strong was your role, that being dependable made you valuable, that being everything for everyone was who you had to be. And maybe nobody ever stopped and asked you, who was taking care of you? So tonight, we're not just going to look at what you do, we're going to look at why you do it. Because once you understand the pattern, you can finally decide if you want to keep it. It is literally divorcing the titles, but keeping the position. Again, welcome to the in between. A lot of you have said before, maybe even probably at one point, I've always been the strong one. People always come to me. I'm the one everybody depends on. And on the surface, that sounds like a compliment. And it can be addictive. But if we're being honest, it also comes with weight. Because being the strong one often means you feel responsible for everybody else. Their feelings, their problems, their stability. And I want you to really sit with this question for a moment. Has this been this you for your whole life? Or did life shape you into this? Because for a lot of people, this didn't just start in adulthood. This started early. You were the fixer, the helper, the peacemaker. You had to sacrifice for your family at a very young age. You learned how to read the room. You learned how to keep things together, even when you were falling apart. You learned how to show up, even when no one was showing up for you. And maybe even you were praised for it. You were so mature, is what they would say. You're so strong. You got it together. But what people didn't realize is that you weren't just being strong, you were adapting, you were surviving. You didn't choose this version of you. You became this version because you had to. I'm going to give you an example in a story of someone very close to me. It's my aunt, who that role was given to her. She has a beautiful voice. I've always loved listening to her sing. And she's the oldest of six children. And when she was younger, if your parents needed help, then you had to stop what you were doing and help as the oldest. And she had to do that. I watched my aunt my whole entire life sacrifice over and over again for family, for people that couldn't or wouldn't or didn't sacrifice for her. I've watched her help raise me. At a very young age, she took me on as her daughter, which means her life again had to pause because she had a child that she didn't even give birth to that she had to protect. She had to love on and guide. She eventually did have her own son, but again, that comes with sacrifices as well because now you're a mom and you've already been shown how to make things work and happen. What she was not shown was it was okay to do what she needed to do for herself. And even to this day, she just had a birthday, April 16th, an amazing woman. And even to this day, she will still sacrifice if she is able to help someone else. Now let's fast forward to your life today. Look at how it shows up. You overgive in relationships, probably even love bomb because you haven't found your confidence or you haven't raised your security in yourself to know that you're enough. So you love bomb. You show people how you can wine and dine them, buy them gifts, take them on trips. You overcompensate. You struggle to let people help you. You feel uncomfortable receiving help, gifts, and when you finally sit down to rest, you feel guilty. You feel lazy. You feel unproductive. Even though you've already done 20 things today, if you sit down to rest, if you take a nap, you feel guilty, lazy, and unproductive. Like you should be doing something. Like you're falling short, like you're letting someone down. So let me ask you this. Do you actually know how to receive, or have you only ever been taught how to give? And remember what I said. A lot of these things come from your childhood. You could have had a parent that didn't know how to love, so you did things to try to get their love. You would buy them gifts or try to do everything right to please them, to get the love that you need or the attention that you need. Again, it literally sets you up to fail or to burn out later in life. At some point, being the strong one stopped being something you do and it became who you are. It became your identity. And when something becomes your identity and you don't question it, you live in it. Even when it's exhausting, even when it's draining, even when it's costing you. And the truth is, some of you don't even know who you are outside of that role because you've never had the space to be anything else. Strength became who you are, not just something you do. But here's where it shifts because now you're aware. Now you're starting to see the pattern, and that means you have a choice. You can choose differently. You can choose to rest without guilt. You can choose to receive without feeling uncomfortable. You can choose to stop carrying what was never yours to begin with. And let me say this clearly. You are allowed to need support. You are allowed not to have it all together. You are allowed to exist without earning your place in people's lives. You don't have to prove your worth through sacrifice anymore. I want to leave you all with some real practical steps that you can actually take to stop being a strong friend all the time. One thing you have to be true, most strong friends lie politely. If you ask them, are they okay? They say, I'm good. If you ask them, they need help, they say, I got it. If you do certain things, you may even hear, it's fine. What I want you to actually do is replace that with, I'm actually a little overwhelmed today. I don't have the capacity right now. That is for conversations when you could be just getting off of work and your phone is ringing because somebody needs help. It's okay to let them know today I don't have the capacity for that right now. And I'm not just sharing this for others. This is stuff I use for myself. If I'm overwhelmed, I will quickly not answer my phone and say, hey, can I call you back tomorrow? I don't even give an explanation of why I need to call you back tomorrow. Let me call you back tomorrow. Because I noticed for me, I will easily fade the black and not give reason. But now I do want to communicate and let you know I'll call you back tomorrow. And then we talk tomorrow and I feel like sharing my part, then I will. But if not, call you back. I'm calling you. Now you can dump on me because now I did what I need to do for myself to protect myself before you dump on me. And let me tell you why this matters. You can't change a pattern you keep pretending doesn't exist. That is where you have to be honest. The next step, pause before you say yes. You don't have to respond to anything immediately. Let me get back to you. I need to check my schedule. The truth is, instant yes equals automatic self abandonment. You haven't even checked to see if you have the capacity to do whatever you're being asked. You haven't checked your checking account. You haven't checked your savings account. You haven't checked yourself. You haven't literally sat with yourself to say, am I able to do this? It is okay to pause before you say yes. Third step, stop over explaining your no. I have said this for the last 3 weeks. I will say it until I turn blue in the face. You do not need a paragraph. No is a complete sentence. I can't do that right now. I'm not available. And yes, you'll get pushback. We talked about this. Yes, you'll get pushback. But this is all within protecting yourself once you decide to choose yourself. All of these series that I have been doing recently is to get you to the place where it is you choosing you before anyone else. It is taking away the stigma of having to be the strong friend, the strong Black woman. You don't have to. And you don't have to show up for everything and everybody. And if the people that are around you don't accept that, guess what? You don't need them. Sorry. You don't need them. The hard truth is, over-explaining is you asking for permission to have boundaries. How crazy does that sound? How crazy does it sound for you to ask someone, is it okay for you to have boundaries for yourself? I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you have kids. I don't care if you have a career. You have to have boundaries and everything. Step 4, let people figure it out. I tell my wife this all the time because she will take on everybody's problems. Let them people figure it out themselves. You can give them resources, but are you okay today? Can you take a deep breath today? Did you get a good night's sleep today? This one is uncomfortable but necessary. I want you to ask yourself, did they ask for help or did I jump in? My wife will do that. You will tell her a problem and she will jump into, let's resolve it. You ain't even got to ask her that. It's because that's what she's used to doing, having to fix or figure out things. No, absolutely not. Sometimes your role as a strong one continues because you don't give people space to handle their own lives. Give them an opportunity to figure it out, especially if they grown. I don't understand. Practice receiving. This is step number 5. Practice receiving, even when it feels weird. Another one my wife had a hard time doing. Her birthday last year. She's a last minute person. She'll change her birthday thoughts of what she want to do. I mean, down to the month before. But she wanted to go fishing. She wanted a party. But she didn't want to go. We didn't want to fly. So the best thing for us to do was gather some of our closest friends. And we went to Ohio, which is our middle way meeting part for most of our friends. And she was able to go fishing. We went out, we danced, we had a good time, we had conversations. And she was not allowed to touch her card. It was so hard for her. It was so hard for her to not, and I made sure everyone knew that you had to bring all your own things. Now, we ain't got that problem with our friends group for real. But I still wanted to make sure it was included so we knew that this birthday, Joy ain't touching her wallet unless it's something for herself. But as far as anything else, no. Not even with me. Okay? No. And it was so hard for her. And it's so hard for so many people to actually accept or receive things from others, especially when you poured the last ounce of your drippings into them and don't have nothing left in your cup. When someone offers help, don't say, I'm good. You don't have to. Instead, say, thank you, I appreciate that. And if you can't receive, your relationship will always be one-sided, and you will always be drained. Step 6, schedule time where you're not available. Be intentional. Block time where you don't answer calls, you don't solve problems, you just exist. I do this often. And when I've been doing this series, I am so proud of the things that I have um, implemented for myself, thanks to therapy. Because it does feel good to see that these things is things that you should do and not feel guilty about doing. And we're going to talk about that next week. Well, not next week, the following week, about not feeling guilty with it. Um, Tapped into a little bit last time, but I want to kind of go a little bit deeper what that looks like. But anyway, it feels good to know that I do these things. I have no problem not answering my phone. I have no problem not answering a text message. I have no problem of going in my room, turning my TV on, propping my feet up, and acting as if I am home by myself, even though my daughter is home, my son may be home, my wife may be home, to just exist. And I will hide in my room just to exist. And it's okay. I'm okay with it. Because the reality is, if you don't create boundaries, people will keep creating excess. I told my wife that yesterday. I told, and me and her do therapy together just to do our check-ins because that is something that you have to have too. Because life be lifing, and you could easily forget to have a check-in with each other, especially if you ain't even checking in with yourself. It's even easier not to, you know. So we do that twice a month now. We've done it prior, but we just picked it back up so that we can have that designated time. Anyway, I told her in therapy, and I told her yesterday when me and her was talking about something a family member said, and it bothered her. And she was like, I'll just stop talking for like 3 months. And I said, you don't tell people that they don't exist no more. Like, you don't go and say, I need some time away from you. I need you not to call me for a little while. Let me call you when I'm ready to talk. And if you're not ready to talk, it's okay. I understand. But right now, I can't be bothered with you or the things that come out of your mouth because they're harming me. She won't. She thinks that her pullback is not being 100% available. And I told her when we used to go through stuff and she would call herself pulling back, you were still doing things. And for me, not you're not cutting everything off. If you're still doing certain things, I'm still benefiting. I am still benefiting, even though in your head you're saying, I'll show you. I'm gonna disappear for a little bit. You didn't disappear. You might not have sent the person the money they need, but you still answering the phone to listen to the problems and be drained. They still have access. And they're creating it because you did not set the boundary to let them know that they're not allowed to say certain things, do certain things. It's important. It is so important to have boundaries. I don't care who it is. I don't care who they lost. I don't care who they have in their life. Because at the end of the day, if you don't choose you, nobody else is. If you don't create your own boundaries, nobody else is going to, especially if they're benefiting from you. I remember getting mad at my wife one time because she made a way for someone else, and it took us a step or two back. And I told her, if I have to understand and be okay with you having to pause for certain things that I may need from you, the whole goddamn world needs to understand. Because who are y'all? I don't care if you blood. I don't care if it's by marriage. When we come in this house, it's us. And if this house understands each other's moments of being overwhelmed or may not have it today, might gotta wait till tomorrow. Anybody outside of that don't understand, don't have to exist at all in our life, period. And I mean that. And I'm saying that, and I'm hoping you guys that are watching this understand that. It is okay to have boundaries. Do not let people create the boundaries for you. Do not allow them to keep getting the benefit from you because you have not opened your mouth to say, you are too much right now, and I need to protect myself. You go on, and I'll let you know when I'm able or capable to be able to deal with your stuff and my stuff. And when that time comes, And if you are not okay and you don't want to talk about it, then I understand because I respect your boundaries. And at right now, I need you to respect mine. If you do not tell the people and you have not completely disappeared from their lives, they still have access to you. And they will not. One of my friends, Eurydice, always tells me, and she's high on it, okay? You have to teach people how to respect you. Because if you don't, they won't. I'll watch this with my wife. I'll watch it with her all the time. All the time. The only thing is, I be wanting to cut the people off, okay? Put them somewhere nice, far away, and she just don't let me. But I do. I watch that. I watch her do that. Now, when she's completely fed up, she will completely disappear. But it's still a part of her that will still care because that's just who she is. Y'all, listen to all these steps and please take heed to them. Number 7, expect discomfort. Don't panic when it comes. You will feel guilty. You will feel selfish. You will feel uncomfortable. You will be called names. People will talk about you for you doing what you need to do to protect you. And guess what? It's okay. It does not mean you're wrong. It means you're doing something new. And the people around you that are no longer getting the benefit of the access will have to figure it out. And they will have to accept it. And honestly, they ain't got to accept it. Long as they respect it and move on out the way. Step number 8, redefine what strong means. Being strong is not carrying everything, fixing everyone, and never needing help. Being strong is setting boundaries, asking for support, and choosing yourself consistently. My final line, you don't have to stop being strong. You just have to stop being the only one holding everything. This week, I want you to say no to one thing you would normally say yes to and do not explain it. I want you to practice that. I want that to become your new norm. And then once you do it this week, do it again next week. And then keep doing it until it becomes so comfortable that you don't even realize you're doing it anymore. I want you to know that you can choose differently now. You are allowed to need support, and you do not have to earn love. You've learned how to survive. Now it's time to learn how to live. You've chosen yourself. Now live for yourself. And I want you to be honest. Have you always been the strong one, or did life make you that way? My next question. When did you realize you were giving more than you were receiving? My next question. I want you to sit with that question. When did you realize you were giving more than you were receiving? I want you to answer these questions. I want you to sit with these questions. I want you to have a conversation. If you want to have a conversation with me, I am open. You can inbox me. I am available. You can write in the chat. I will respond. And if it's resources that you may need, more steps, a good therapist, I will help guide you. I will not do the work for you. I will not. But I will help guide you to where you need to be. Because the journey is long and it can feel lonely. But I'm here to tell you that you can do it. You can be the strong friend and still make sure that you're making sure you're strong for yourself. It is okay. I thank you guys for joining me again for the In Between with Swag Her Magazine. I love you. And I want you to love and protect and guide yourself and have boundaries. And remember, no is a complete sentence. You guys be blessed. I'll see you next Thursday.